Hello, welcome to the MCMV Primitive Civilization event. Basically, what I'm going to be doing here is just showing you the tutorial on how to get started with this event. Everything you need so you don't die in the first 3 seconds of the game. So, what I'm going to show you here is on the right of your screen. You have 5 little boxes right here. This is your inventory, of course, you would already know that. The second box here is about your seasons. Each day won't be the same as the last. It's going to be like real life. The seasons change throughout the entirety of this whole event. You'll start in spring. Spring will be great. You can actually see the days of the week, which is pretty cool. You can see the date, time of day, whatever it is, 1000 BC or eight, yeah. And then the next box here is your nutrition. So your health is all based around your nutrition here. If you only eat vegetables, this bar will go up, but you're going to be lacking in the protein from meats, fruits, and say wheat products like grain and breads, maybe cake. Cake will also go down in the dairy bar down here, but you don't have to worry about that. That's more advanced stuff. But this is basically what your health is going to be going off of. Now, the fourth box is the climate. So this is the how cold it or hot it is outside. Say, it's when it rains, how much rain will actually come down, and then you just see the current temperature right here. That'll actually also vary if you're doing the more advanced stuff like smelting. The rooms will get hotter and colder depending on what you have going on in that room. And then the fifth box is actually just the tutorial for the mod itself, but you won't have to worry about that because you're watching this. So say you're just walking around, you're trying to find some food, you're hungry, you're about to die, and you come across some plants on the ground here. These are potatoes. So you can actually just go and mine them, and then say you're hungry, you just munch, 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 eat all that, and you'll actually get seeds. You might want to save that for later, though. You don't need that right now. Just collect all this. These will sedate you just a little bit. You don't rely on them. What you want to do is find some meat later on. But when it comes to the thirst, you're going to want to find a good source of water. See right here? Well, all you're going to want to do is just right click the water, and you'll see that your little blue bar down at the bottom will start filling up. And then after that, you should that should be it for the whole food and water aspect of this. Now, once you have all your food and water all settled out, what you want to do is get into the tools. So what you're going to want to do is you're just going to be running around the forest, like usual, and you're going to come across some sticks on the ground. Basically, what you're going to want to do is just kind of go up to them, right-click them, and you're also going to try to find some stones. Now, these are very important when you're first beginning. You're going to want to try to find 2 rocks on the ground. Then you're just going to want to look up in the air or whatever, right click, and it'll open up this rock napping screen. Now what you're going to want to do to get the basic amount of materials is you're going to want to make an axe head. That'll be what you're going to be using to chop down trees and get all your wood stuff. This is going to be one of the napping recipes that you'll need to create. You do this basically, and you'll get an axe head. And you put that in your inventory. And here are the rest of the little maps you'll see on that you'll see in the mod pack and what you're going to have to use. And then after that, what you're going to want to do to actually make your first tool is put the axe head in the top of your crafting with a little stick at the bottom, and that'll make yourself a stone axe. And that's how you make all the basic tools. Okay, so once you have all of your basic tools, from smashing those rocks together, what you're going to want to try to do first is get your stone knife, and you're going to want to go try to find some vegetation, as it is everywhere. And basically what you're going to want to do is just start smacking it with left click. I'm just going to drop this straw here. This is going to be a very essential item slash material just for later on down the road. But for building purposes, and because you're just a lonely ooga booga man out in the forest, what you're going to want to do is take your straw, put it in the recipe bar like so, and you'll get your thatch block. Now, this is very basic. This is what you're just going to be using to craft and make your base out of. It also is going to be used for something later on down the road when it comes to smelting and getting your pottery. Now, what you're going to want to do now that I've told you about pottery, you're going to actually want to come and try to find some clay in the water right here. Now, clay has a very distinctive property. It has a lot of variations of plants around, and it's very distinct. So in this case, there's these purple plants, and you'll actually see right here that the clay is underwater, and this is what it looks like. Very different from, Minecraft vanilla clay. Basically, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your stone shovel, like the one you just crafted. You're just going to want to start mining it here, just like so. Okay, so once you got all your straw and the clay that you found here, what you're going to want to do is you want to take your stone axe, and now we're going to be chopping down trees. Now, when chopping down a tree in this mod, you're basically all you're going to be doing is, it might take a little bit, but once you do chop down the tree, you'll see that the whole entire tree actually falls down. Now, logs are going to be very essential to everything, as it is in normal Minecraft. Basically, this is going to be used for pit kilns, charcoal, and basic building materials. And this will just end. It'll have later uses down the road too. Okay, so once you have your building materials and you built yourself a little home, what you're going to want to do is start molding your clay. And that'll be essential for all your tools and storage and everything basically you'll need. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to take your clay balls and you're just going to right click it, and you're going to make this is just going to be I'll show you how to make one of the clay molds here. So you're just going to take out all 4 of these corners, and it'll make an unfired vessel. And just put that in your inventory. And here are the rest of the clay molds that you could create. Now, once you have your unfired vessel, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go over here, just make a little hole. Now, the base key for you to press is going to be C, and that's how you're going to place down your items. Basically, you're going to do that. You can place 4 items in a hole at the same time. So if you want to just conserve on space and the amount of items that you create, you're just going to do it like that. Now you're going to take your straw and you're going to place it inside of the hole, just like so. So it fills it up and it covers it just like so. Now you're going to take your logs and you're going to want to place 8 logs on top of your straw, just like that. And you're going to want to take this fire starter. Now this is easy. Basically how you create this is you take a stick, you put it here and here diagonally, and you'll get your fire starter. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to crouch and hold right click and you'll get a fire started. And boom, now your unfired clay is now becoming fired and it's going to become just a solid clay pot. Okay. And now once trust me, you'll know when your pottery's done, because all you'll be left with is these fired vessels, or these vessels, actually just these vessels in this hole here. Basically, you just want to all you're going to want to do is go up to them and just right click them, and you'll take them out of the hole, and now you'll have them in your inventory. These vessels are perfect for storing items. So you want to get some stuff out of your inventory here, you just place down any little thing in there. It holds 4 items. Okay, now that you have your pottery all situated and you got your house all set up, what you're going to want to do is find a way to feed yourself properly, not with vegetables. So what you're going to want to do is just run around, kill something, get some meat, and you're going to want to cook it. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to get a log and 3 sticks. And basically what you're going to do is you're just going to throw it down there. 1, 2, 3. And after that, if you want to increase the chances of a campfire actually spawning, you can also place down some straw like so. And then you're going to want to take your fire starter, shift, and hold right click. Just like so. And bada bing, bada boom, you have a campfire. And this will be how you'll start creating your cooked food. So what you're going to want to do is get your logs and throw them in here. You'll see that a little heat bar will start rising up. You're going to want to take your meat and place it in there, and it'll start cooking. Now you're going to want to be careful, because meat does spoil. And you can actually see in that green bar right there, it'll show you when it'll spoil. And basically you're just going to keep doing that until you got enough food for yourself. Okay, so now that you're all situated with your stone tools and basically all your basic stuff, you're going to want to get something that's a little stronger than stone. You don't want to be stuck with this for the entirety of the event. So what you're going to want to do is just start running around, and you'll start seeing these little rocks on the ground. But these aren't just any type of rock. If you pick them up, this is copper. this is going to be the first ore on your list that you'll want to collect. You'll probably want to collect an abundance of them right here. So just pick up a bunch of them. You can also find them in igneous extrusive rocks. Here's actually a couple of examples here. And we're also going to show you how to utilize them. Okay, so we showed you one way of getting copper. Now this is another way. So say you're just running along a stream and you find this type of gravel that has spots in it. This is actually gravel that has copper in it. What you're going to want to do is you want to get a pan. When you actually craft this, you will have to do it in the clay ball. Here's a little picture on screen on the unfired version. And now that you have this, you can actually come over to a lake wherever you want to go, and you'll want to right click on this and you'll get a filled pan. Now, while standing in the water, what you're going to want to do is look down at the water and hold right click, and you'll see you're starting to like sieve it out. Just like so. And you'll actually get some copper from that. You'll have a chance to get copper. It's not guaranteed, but you'll have a higher chance of doing it this way than just trying to find it around the world. Okay, so now that you've collected all your copper and you're back at your base here, what you're going to want to do is you want to smelt all this copper. You want to get it all down in its liquid form. So what you're going to want to do is you want to come over here, dig another little hole, place down all of your vessels in the hole by pressing C, or whatever your button configuration is. You're going to take your straw, you're going to put in 8 straw, and then you're going to take your logs, put in 8 logs just like so. Then you're going to want to take your fire starter and light it on fire. This will start turning all of the copper ore that's in those vessels into a liquid. Okay, so now you only have a limited amount of time to do this, but you're going to want to pick up your vessels here, like so, and you want to get your molds that you just created. Open this up so you'll have some copper in the top here. You'll see how much you have. Basically, you're going to take your mold and place it right here, and you'll see that that bar will start filling up, and you can also read at the bottom. There you go. Now you have a saw blade that's going to be cooling off. You want to just leave it to cool. You're going to take your other one for your pickaxe head, and you're just going to do it like so. Same thing. Let that fill up. And now you're just going to let these cool in your inventory. And now once you're done that... Okay. And now once you're done that, you're just going to let that cool, and you'll just grab it out once it's all done. And we're just going to do this real quick. We're going to put them down here. Oh, and did you see all the colors change on this? So now all the metals are starting to cool off, which is not good. So whatever you're going to craft, you're going to want to do it very quick, and I mean very quick. Okay, so now it says here that the copper is in a solid. Contents have been solidified. And you just want to all you're going to want to do is shift and right click. Now you have a chance of getting your mold back, but it's a very slim chance. You'll most always just lose the mold. But you'll get your metal mold from this, and basically all you're going to do is place it up in your inventory like so. And just like that, you have a basic pickaxe. Okay, so now that you got your copper tools and everything you need there, what we're going to teach you how to make now is charcoal. And the way you're going to do this is you're just going to make one solid block, like you see here. What we're going to do is we're going to make the log pile. So you can shift right click, and then you shift right click again, and you see you put all your logs in there, and then you're just going to keep doing it like so. Make sure these are all filled up like this. Now what you're going to want to do is you want to take some dirt, and you're going to want to surround it just like so. Oh, yeah, whatever. Just like that. Oh. And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You're going to leave one open. You're going to get your fire starter, and then you're going to shift right click this, and you're going to start to get a fire burning, just like so. You'll hear that noise. You're going to want to cover that up. Now you're going to want to wait until all the fire's out and you stop seeing the smoke rising up. Perfect. Okay, so now that you see the smoke's gone, that means that your charcoal's all good to go. So what you're going to want to do is grab your shovel, and you're just going to start mining it like so. And That was weird. So you're just gonna mine all the dirt around the surrounding area here. You don't really have to. Maybe just mine off the top of it, just like that. All of it will fall, and now you see how you have charcoal all here. So you're just gonna go ahead and break it all, and you'll start getting these little charcoal chunks. Basically, just do that for all the charcoal in the area, and you'll have all the charcoal you need for the future projects. Okay, so now that you have your charcoal, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make a charcoal forge. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to take your cobblestone and put it in this little configuration that I've got here. So basically you're just going to replicate it just like this. So now that you have this little hole of cobblestone, you're going to take your charcoal and you're going to fill it up all the way to the top, just like so. Now you're going to grab your fire starter and you're going to shift right click and you're going to hold it down. Just like so, and you'll have your charcoal forge. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put some charcoal in here just to get it fueled. And you're going to take whatever sort of mold you want. You're just going to put them on the side here or in any of these slots, but you're going to want to keep these open for your copper or whatever metal you want to put in here. So basically you're just going to put it in like this. And whenever these are smelted, it'll automatically move it over to the ingot mold or whatever mold you have on the side here. So basically, you're just going to wait till this is done. It might take a little bit. The charcoal forge also has many other uses that we're going to get to later on in this tutorial. So let's just wait for this to smelt up here. Waiting time. Come on. And boom, there we go. All right, so now that you have the ingot mold, you can take that out of the forge. And once it's solidified, you're going to shift right click. And the copper ingot, the ingot might be actually kind of hot, so you don't really want to touch it, but basically that's how you get ingots. And any other mold that you want to craft. Okay, so now that you have your charcoal forge here and you know how to make the advanced fuel, now we're going to show you how to get stone, and not just any stone, but raw stone, and you'll need this for important recipes later on. So basically what you're going to want to do is you want to come down to your mine here. Now you're going to want to go to a level that's below this gravel level, because if you don't, you have a higher chance of the cave collapsing on you. So go down a couple levels till you get to around here. Now what you're going to want to do before you even enter the cave, you see how this kind of like doorway is here? These are support beams. Basically, the way you make those is you get your support, and you'll kind of make it in a frame like so. And then in the middle, you're just going to place one there, and that's a full support beam. This is going to hold up the cave for you, so it doesn't collapse and kill you, and you die horrible death. And yeah, okay. So now that you have that, you're going to run in here. Now to actually extract the stone, what you're going to want to do is break all the stone around one block, just like this. And as soon as I break this one, you'll see that this stone will fall off by itself. Just like that. And there we go. Raw emotions. And you'll get raw basalt, or in other cases, the stone. Basically, what this is going to be used for is you're going to be able to make a smithing table or a stone anvil later on. And that's how you're going to be able to make the armors, the certain types of armors that you'll see in the mod pack. Okay, so once you're done down in the mines there and you have your raw stone or basalt or whatever the hell you just got, you're going to run up here and you're going to find a little spot to place it down. I'm going to place it right here. You're going to get your copper hammer that you got from your mold and your stick there, and you're just going to come up to it and right click it. And now that you've done that, you've created your first anvil, and this is going to be used to create all the other, like the armor and everything and the other anvils later on. Okay, so now that you have your metals and you got your anvil and everything, what you're going to want to do now is we have to start welding these copper ingots. So what we're going to do is we're going to place 2 in here. We got to get something that's called a double sheet of copper. And the way we do that is we have to heat up this copper to a certain temperature, as you see here. At orange 4 stars, we're able to weld it. Now, if you're worried about your copper going to waste, you can always just put a vessel up in the top here, and if you're not quick enough, it'll just automatically transfer into the vessel. But there are 2 types of heats that will come up whenever your metal is being heated up. So the first one is called can work, which we will see here in a second. That's not the one we want. That's used for other stuff. What we want is to read can weld, and that will come right after can work, as you see here. So let's just wait a second here. It usually shows up at the orange. What we want is orange 1 or 2 stars. Can weld, okay. Just give it a little more time so you have more time to transfer it over. And just like that and that. So what you're going to want to do now is bring this over, quickly insert into there with some flux. Then you're going to take your hammer, shift, right click, and bada bing, bada boom, you got a copper double ingot. And this is going to be used for making more anvils and armor later on in the future. Okay, so now that you know how to weld your copper together and all your ingots, what we're going to show you now is how to actually make armor. So what you're going to want to do is come over to your charcoal forge. Make sure that there's charcoal in here so that it's red hot or yellow, white. And you're going to take your copper sheets that you have here and you're just going to put them in. You're going to let that go. What you're going to want to do though is this is probably going to take a while. So if you want to queue up a whole bunch, that's probably a good idea. What you're going to want to do is you want to get this to probably the danger line. Now, do whatever you're comfortable with, but what I am doing here is I'm just going to let it fill up till it says orange danger, because the mini game that comes after will require you to actually play around with it a little bit and work the metal, and it can definitely take a large amount of time to do so. So yeah, and if you're not quick enough to collect the copper, it might just smelts right into the vessel. In that case, it won't actually go to waste because you can just put it back in. Okay, and now that you've waited, now that your copper sheets are almost done heating up here, what I'm going to wait for is it to actually turn orange, so that might just take a little bit longer here. But as it's heating up there, I'll explain that. I'll explain this. So what you're going to want to do before that's all done, you're just going to take your hammer and just kind of place it in there. Once the sheets are ready to be placed, you're going to put it in here, and I'll show you what has to be done there. Just want to make sure that this doesn't actually get put in the vessel. Come on, give it to me. No waiting game. We shall do the ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga ooga, ooga booga. Almost done. Ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga. Come on, you're so close. Please. Ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga booga, ooga ooga. There we go. Okay, danger, danger, danger. Okay, let's take all that out. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take your metal, your sheets here, you're going to place it here. You'll see that the plans tab will pop up. What you want to do is press that, and you'll see all your different armors or just anything you want here. What we're going to do is we're going to do the chest piece. So now that that's done, we have a little mini game that we have to do up here. Now this is the complicated part. So what we're going to do is the green, we'll move it over to the side. What we're trying to get is this green part to get lined up with the red arrow right here. So we got to move it over, as you're seeing here. Might take a little bit, just like that. Now I'm going to try to get it here, and I'm going to try to do this first try. This might take a little bit of work, as you see. And it didn't work for that time, so now I got to restart it. And 1, 2, hey, and look at that, I got it first try. But basically, after that, you have your unfinished chest piece that's made of copper. Basically, you're just going to let that cool down. And that's the first part. Okay, whenever you're doing the working of the metal, you also want to look up here. These 3 symbols, basically this will be your third one, so this will start moving it over. You want to get all of these lined up so all 3 of them are green. While also trying to do that, you want to get your red and green arrow lined up. So get that over to the side as so. Hard hit, then medium hit, and then whatever it was. Okay, so now that you have your unfinished chest piece here and another copper double sheet, what you're going to want to do is go back to your forge, make sure it has charcoal in there, and throw them both in there. And basically what you're going to do is wait for them to get to the can weld stage. Now this might take a little bit again because you're now having to reheat sheets of copper that have been placed on top of each other, so it might just take a little bit to do so. Okay, so now that the copper double sheet and your copper unfinished chess piece is at this welding stage, what you're going to want to do is take it out real quick, bring it over to your anvil, throw them both in there, and take your hammer. Oh, not that. Don't do that. Take your flux and put it in there. You're going to shift right click, and just like that, you have a copper chess piece. That is the first, and that is going to be the first armor you get. Oh, no. Oh.